Hey everybody, welcome to the Midsummer Classic 1977 style. We made it through the White Sox season. We are now at the All-Star break. So I thought I would bring out the stats for the Sox and the American League actually. Sox have played 90 games. They are now 50-40 because they lost the last two games to Boston before the break. So let's look at the standings, and you will see in the West, Kansas City holds a half-game lead over Texas, and the White Sox are 3.5 games back. Compared to what they were in real life, I am 4 games behind the pace, so I need to pick it up, I guess, if I want to try to get that 90-72 record. In the East, which is all autoplay, you can see the Sox lead Baltimore by 1.5 games and the Yankees by 4.5. So Minnesota was at the top earlier. They fell back a little bit, so second half of the season, or after the All-Star break, is going to be interesting to see what happens. Here's some of the statistics through the 90 games for the Sox. The team leader in hits, or in hitting, is Wayne Nordhagen, but he only played 32 games with 68 at-bats, most of those pinch hitting. So the regular Oscar Gamble and Richie Zisk both hit .316, and they're leading the club in that category. Oscar Gamble with the 18 home runs. Look at the pitching. And for the starters, the best pitcher so far has been Ken Kravik, 6-1 in 10 starts with a 3.31 ERA. Barrios, Wood, and Stone are all under 4 on the ERA. Chris Knapp struggling a little bit. In the bullpen, Larry LeGros, 7-4 with 16 saves, so he's getting the job done out of the bullpen. Hamilton, the lefty specialist, struggling a little bit, 4.33 ERA, does have 5 saves, but struggling just a tad. So that's where the Sox stand after 90 games. And now we're going to get to the Summer Classic, and it's going to be with a twist. I'm going to play it in the basic, which I haven't done in a while, so I'm going to go ahead and play this in basic since it's an exhibition game. And this game was played at Yankee Stadium on July 19th, 1977. And to meet the participants of both teams, we're going to turn it over to the public address announcer at that time at Yankee Stadium, Bob Shepard.
Batting first and playing second base from the Cincinnati Reds, Joe Morgan. Batting second and playing first base from the Los Angeles Dodgers, Steve Garvey. Batting third and playing right field from the Pittsburgh Pirates, Dave Parker. Batting fourth and playing center field from the Cincinnati Reds, George Foster. Batting fifth and playing left field from the Philadelphia Phillies, Greg Luzinski. Batting sixth and playing third base from the Los Angeles Dodgers, Ron Cey. Batting seventh and catching from the Cincinnati Reds, Johnny Bench. Batting eighth and playing shortstop from the Cincinnati Reds, Dave Concepcion. Batting ninth and pitching, warming up now in the bullpen from the Los Angeles Dodgers, Don Sutton. And now, here are the remaining National League All-Stars. From the Atlanta Braves, first baseman Willie Montanez. From the Chicago Cubs, outfielder Jerry Morales. Pitcher Rick Russell. Second baseman Manny Trio. From the Cincinnati Reds, outfielder Ken Griffey. Third baseman Pete Rose. Pitcher Tom Seaver. Los Angeles Dodgers, outfielder Reggie Smith. From the Montreal Expos, outfielder Ellis Valentine. From the New York Mets, catcher John Stern. From the Philadelphia Phillies, pitcher Steve Carlton. Third baseman Mike Schmidt. Gossett. From the St. Louis Cardinals, catcher Ted Simmons. Shortstop Gary Templeton. From the San Diego Padres, outfielder Dave Winfield. From the San Francisco Giants, pitcher Gary Lavelle. And the trainer from the Houston Astros, Jim Ewell. Now, batting first and playing first base from the Minnesota Twins, Rod Carew. Batting second and playing second base from the New York Yankees, Willie Randolph. Batting third and playing third base from the KC Royals, George Brett. Batting fourth and playing center field from the Boston Red Sox, Paul Yastrzemski. Batting fifth and playing left field from the Chicago White Sox, Richie Zisk. Batting sixth, playing right field from the New York Yankees, Reggie Jackson. Batting seventh and catching from the Boston Red Sox, Carlton Fisk. Batting eighth and playing shortstop from the Boston Red Sox, Rick Burleson. Batting ninth and pitching, now warming up in the bullpen from the Baltimore Orioles, Jim Palmer. And now, here are the remaining American League All-Stars. From the Baltimore Orioles, outfielder Ken Singleton. From the Boston Red Sox, pitcher Bill Campbell. Outfielders Fred Lynn and Jim Rice. First baseman George Scott. From the California Angels, pitcher Dave LaRoche. From the Cleveland Indians, pitchers Dennis Eckersley and Jim Kern. From the Detroit Tigers, first baseman Jason Thompson. From the Milwaukee Brewers, pitcher Jim Slayton. From the Minnesota Twins, outfielder Larry Heisel and catcher Butch Weineger. From the New York Yankees, pitcher Sparky Lyle. Oakland A's, third baseman Wayne Gross. From the Seattle Mariners, outfielder Rupert Jones. From the Texas Rangers, shortstop Bert Campaneris. From the Toronto Blue Jays, outfielder first baseman Ron Fairley.
All right, so there you have it. All the All-Stars in all their glory. So let's get this show on the road, so to speak. Let me get this out of the way. And like I said, we are doing the basic. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go old school. And we're going to roll on the board that comes with the game because it fits so well for the basic. And I do have with me, off to the side, I do have the basic charts here and basic fielding charts, so we're ready to go with those. Got the rule book in case I need to freshen up something on the basic rules, make sure I don't introduce anything that's not in the basic. All right, let's get the show on the road, as they say. And I'm going to try to be fair and try to get all these guys in the game if possible. It might be difficult to keep up with, but I'm going to attempt to do that. Pitchers are hitting in this game, and Don Sutton's going to be using pitcher hitting card number 2, and Palmer will be using pitcher hitting card number 1. So the National League's at bat first. We're going to go ahead and put them there, and Jim Palmer will be in his spot. Now in real life, Joe Morgan led off this game with a home run, so don't know if that's going to happen, this time around, but you never know. Anything's liable to happen depending on how the dice decide to feel that day. So let's get this proverbial show on the road. All the pomp and circumstance seems to be over. So as soon as I get everything where I need it to be, I'll put the reserves off to the side. Hopefully Tabby won't mess with them. And we'll be ready to go. Let's get the dice in here, cards in here. We can see them a little bit better, I think. Looks to be okay. All right. Got our dice. And we're ready to go. First up is Joe Morgan. And remember, we're doing the basic, so here we go. I'm not going to roll the D20 unless it's necessary. So here's the first pitch to Morgan. It's a 6-6 off of Palmer's card, and that's a split chance. 1 to 2 is a double, 3 to 20 is a single. That's a 9, so it's a single for Joe Morgan. He's going to start things off, and he's going to be looking to run. It's a double-A stealer. Look at the chart. Double-A stealer starts as a 17, but in the rule book you go by the defensive catcher rating to reduce that, and the catcher rating for Fisk is a 1. So if we take the 1 from the basic rules and deduct that right here from the basic rules, it's a -4. So that 17 becomes a 13. So a 1 to 13 for Morgan, he's going to try it. And he makes it, so it's a stolen base. So little Joe gets him going right away. He gets him off to the races. And that'll bring up Steve Garvey, the number 2 hitter against Palmer. 1-8 for Garvey, and that's a solid home run. A 2-run shot right there for Garvey. So it wasn't Morgan that got Palmer, it was Garvey. And Palmer gave up 4 runs in the first inning of the real game. So a little bit of art imitating life here. 2-0 National League. Brings up Dave Parker, the Cobra. 6-7, and that's a 1 to 3 single, 4 to 20. It'll be a line out to Carew. And that's a 10, so it is a line out to Carew for 1 away. So 1 down, and that's going to bring up George Foster playing center field, not his normal left field because they don't have a center fielder elected to the All-Star game per se. Because you've got Luzinski in left, and you're not going to put him in center, that's for sure. 5-6, 5-6 has struck him out, so Palmer gets the K on Foster, and that's 2 away. 2 outs, bases clear for Luzinski. 6-8, that's a walk, so a 2-out walk to Luzinski. He's not going to go anywhere because he's not a very good base runner. Here's Ron Say, 1-9, That's a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. But it's 2-0 National League on that 2-run homer, courtesy of Mr. Steve Garvey. So Palmer, a little shaky on his first start. And now we'll turn it over to Don Sutton, pitching for the National League. And Sutton will be facing Rod Carew. See what Carew can do. 1-8. 1-8's a solid single for Rod Carew. Now, he is an A stealer, and bench is a 1, so that -4 would be from a 15. It'd be a 1 to 11 for Carew, so they're not going to send him. They're down 2-0. They're not going to run themselves out of an inning. So it's simply going to be a single, and here's Randolph. 4-7 against Sutton. Ground ball, second base X. Second baseman is Morgan. Morgan is a 1. 1 and a 1. That could be interesting. A 1 and a 1. A 1 and a 1 is an out 3. Out 3 down here says run on first, out going to second. Completion of a double play. So it's like a ground ball A. It's a 4-6-3 for Randolph, and that kind of kills the American League momentum right there. 2 down for George Brett. 2 down, base is empty now for George Brett. We get a 2-7 for Brett, and that's a 2-out walk. So Brett with the 2-out walk. And that will send up Carl Yastrzemski. A little bit out of sorts with this setup because this is different than what I'm used to, obviously. Here's Yaz. 6-7 against Sutton. Line out to Morgan at second, and the inning's over. So nothing doing for the American League. They go rather meekly. And we go to the second inning. It's 2-0 favor the National League. And now I have my pitcher hitting cards. I took them out when I was doing the intros, and now I can't figure out where I put them. I got to go find them because Don Sutton's getting ready to bat. And I got to be able to find my pitcher hitting cards. I just had them. There they are, right there. Okay, well, no sweat. Sutton's a number 2 on his card, so we'll put him in place there. Right now, Johnny Bench is going to lead things off for the National League against Palmer. 5-6 for Palmer. Struck him out. So Palmer gets the K on Bench. 1 away for number 8 hitter Dave Concepcion. And we get a 2-5. 2-5 on Concepcion. That's a fly to center. So 2 up, 2 down. And that brings up Sutton using pitcher hitting card number 2. But we're off the pitcher card anyway. 5-8. Ground ball, second base X. That's Randolph. And Randolph's a 2. And we get a 20. So a 2 and a 20. 2 and a 20 is an out 1. So it doesn't matter. It's the third out and nobody's on base. So it's just a 4-3 grounder. And the inning is over. So Palmer much better in this inning than last. Sutton now will be coming out to see if he can keep that 2-0 lead going. And we'll get all the National League squared away. All right, Richie Zisk. Everybody knows him from the White Sox. He's the lone representative of the Piojos. And they're against Sutton. 1-11. 1-11's ground ball to short. Handled by Concepcion. 1 away. That'll bring up Reggie Jackson. 6-12 for Sutton's the fly ball to left. Handled out there by Luzinski. So 2 up, 2 down. And Sutton mowing through these American League hitters. Here's Fisk. 3-5. That's probable home run. 1-19's a homer. The only thing it cost him will be a 20, would be a triple. And that's a home run for Carlton Fisk. So Fisk goes deep, cuts the lead to 2-1. American League get a little momentum going. And it'll be Rick Burleson, shortstop. 5-8. 1-3 is a triple. 4-20 is a single. It's a 13, so it's a single. And Palmer, who only went 2+ innings in the real game, is going to be pinch hit for here in this game. So Rod Carew will not be the next man up. It'll be the pinch hitter. So we'll go to the American League, and we're going to pull out Ron Fairley of the Blue Jays. So Ron Fairley of the Blue Jays will be getting the hit, or the chance to hit, I should say, right here in the pinch hitting role. Ron Fairley, and then the new pitcher for the American League we'll figure that out when we get to it. All right, here is Fairley. 4-8. 4-8 is a walk. So a 2-out walk to the pinch hitter Fairley puts runners at first and second with 2 outs. And we're back to the top of the order in Rod Carew. So dangerous spot for Sutton now with the dangerous hitter Carew with 2 men on. 2-7 for Carew is a ground ball to third. Handled by Brett, and that's going to, handled by Say, so that's going to end the inning. So the 1 run is in, that's it, but it's a 2-1 ball game. Favor of the National League. And now, we will have a new pitcher for the American League. Let's go to the American League roster and see who we're going to bring in. They're going to bring in Dennis Eckersley. So Dennis Eckersley is going to be the new pitcher for the American League. See what he does against the National League. Joe Morgan, we're back to the top of the order. So Morgan will lead it off against Eckersley. 2-7 for Morgan, ground ball to third. Handled by Brett. 1 away. Morgan is out there. Here's Steve Garvey. 4-5 off of Eckersley is a strikeout. So Eckersley gets the K on Garvey. So Garvey homers his first time up and then gets the K on the second time around. And that'll bring up the Cobra, Dave Parker. Eventually will be teammates on the 1990 Oakland A's. 89 Oakland A's, I should say. Maybe 90 as well, no, but at least 89, 88. 2-4 for Parker. Ground ball to second, and the inning is over. So nothing going on there. Solid inning for Eckersley in relief. Now Sutton's going to pitch his 3rd inning, and that's the max you can get in All-Star play, is 3 innings. Homer long since gone. Eckersley will probably get a 2nd inning of work in. All right, so Sutton will be back out. I'm sorry, Sutton just finished. No, Sutton will be back out for the bottom of the 3rd, my bad. He's going to be facing Willie Randolph to lead things off for the American League. So it's a little confusing getting these All-Star rosters squared away here. 3-5. It's a solid single for Willie Randolph. He is a B stealer, but again, with bench being a -1 arm, they're not going to test it. So they will just let that go. Number 3 hitter coming up will be George Brett. So Brett stepping to the plate against Sutton. First time Brett walks. 4-9. 1-15 is a single. Anything else he lines to first, and it'll be snagged over there by Garvey. 18, it's a liner to Garvey snags. 1 away, and that'll take us to Yaz, who's definitely playing out of position in center field, but they have no center fielders. 3-6 is a walk, so Yaz will draw a walk, and that will put runners at first and second for Richie Zisk. 1-7 for Zisk. It's a fly to left, 2 down. So Zisk not able to do it. Let's see if Reggie can do it in his home stadium here against Sutton. 6-8. He does. 6-8's a 1-15 double. 16-20 single. It's 2 stars, so 1 run will score only. Either way you go. It is a double, and so Randolph will score to tie the game. Yastrzemski will have to stop at 3rd on the double by Reggie. And we're tied at 2-2. Sutton trying to make it through this inning. Get this last out. Here's Carlton Fisk. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. 1-4 struck out Fisk, and that's the end of the inning. And that's going to do it for Sutton. He's going to go 3 innings and give up the 2 runs. So after 3 complete, nothing's been settled. We are tied at 2 here at Yankee Stadium. So Sutton's day is done. They want to bring in a new pitcher in the National League. Right now, Eckersley will start his time in relief for his 2nd inning, facing George Foster. 3-11 for Foster. It's a low max, line out to 2nd, but nobody's on base, so Simply one away. And it turns us over to Greg Luzinski. Walked his first trip, 6-5. Strikes out this time as Eckersley gets him. So Eckersley, very well here against the National League. 5 up, 5 down. 1-8 for Say. And he walks him. So as soon as I say 5 up and 5 down, he allows a base runner. But Say walks with 2 outs. He's not going to go anywhere. Johnny Bench, the batter. We'll start making substitutions in the 5th inning, I think. Maybe in the 6th. Top of the 5th, something like that. 4-10 for Eckersley. Pops to short. And the inning is over. So we go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 2-2 ball game. And we need a new pitcher for the National League and the American League next time because Eckersley's done. Pitched his 2 innings. Let's go to the National League. It's going to be Tom Seaver. Tom Seaver returns to New York, and he will be in there to start the 4th. Start the bottom of the 4th against the American League and Rick Burleson. Then we're going to have a pinch hitter for Eckersley. And in the American League, the pinch hitter is going to be, we've already used Fairley, and now we're going to use Wayne Gross of the Oakland A's. So Wayne Gross will pick up a bat and hit. He will follow Rick Burleson. So it'll be Burleson, Gross, and Carew against Seaver. 2-7, fly to left, 1 away. So now Gross is in to pinch hit for Eckersley. Gross stepping in against Seaver. 3-7 for Gross, and he grounds to third. Handled by Say, 2 down. So Gross, his stint in the All-Star game, not a long one and not a good one. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Carew. 3-10 for Carew. He will single. So Carew 2 for 3 in this All-Star game. He's an A stealer. Hate to try to run on bench though. It'd be a 1-11 if they want to try it. You know what? They're going to give Carew a shot. And he makes it. So it's a stolen base for Carew. Since there were 2 outs, try to get him in scoring position, and they do. So Carew now in scoring position for Willie Randolph. So it's up to Willie Randolph to get the big hit against Seaver. 1-9. He cannot. He grounds to short. And the inning is over. So 4 complete here from Yankee Stadium in the All-Star game. And we are tied at 2-2. So we need a new pitcher in the American League since Eckersley was pinch hit for. And let's look through the roster and see who they have that they might want to go to. And they're going to go to... don't have a whole lot of pitching actually. Got some relievers. Tough choice. We'll go to Jim Slayton of Milwaukee. Let him get in the game. Let somebody from Milwaukee have an appearance. Not the best, but want to get every team represented as much as possible. Concepcion is going to lead off, and then we'll get a pinch hitter for Seaver. So Seaver's done as well. So here is Concepcion. 5-5 against Slayton, and he draws a walk. So leadoff walk to Concepcion. And he will be looking, well, he would be looking to run, but we're going to have a pinch hitter, so I think we're going to hold off on the running game. Pinch hitter for the National League. And they will turn to, I want to try to find guys that have multiple positions because we don't want multiple guys getting left out or whatever. So let's see here. We got a bunch of outfielders, I think. So what we're going to use is Reggie Smith. So Reggie Smith of the Dodgers is going to pinch hit. Reggie Smith. See what he can do. Runner at first, nobody out against Jim Slayton. 4-8 against Slayton. Fly ball to right field. And that's secured over there by Reggie. And Reggie Smith is gone. Here's Joe Morgan. One Reggie flies to another. Here's Morgan. Top of the order. 2-3 for Morgan. And that's going to be a walk. Morgan draws the base on balls. moves Concepcion to second. Runners at first and second with 1 out for Garvey. American League could use a double play right about now. 6-7. That's a single. So a single by Garvey. Concepcion, let's check his run rating. Runs at a 17. So on a 17, let's check how the basic does their running, because I got to get back into basic mode here with the advancing on base hits. So it says here, runners advancing on base hits. When no asterisk is present, the manager of the team at bat may elect to have his base runner attempt the extra base. To attempt the extra advance, consult the lead base runner's rating, top of his card, then roll a 20-sided die. All right, so we're not factoring any arms or anything like that. They're not 2 outs, so we're not adding 2 out, or not adding 2 to it. So simply it's a 1-17 roll. So 1-17, and he's in there. So Concepcion will score. And now we'll check Morgan. Morgan was on first, and his run rating is a 17 as well. So he's going to try to go to third, which he does. So runners are at the corners on that single by Garvey. National League threatening again, and that's going to be it for Slayton. They tried to give Milwaukee some representation, but didn't really help them out much. And now they're going to turn to a lefty out of their bullpen, and that's going to be Dave LaRoche. If I can find his card. Dave LaRoche, where are you? There you are. So Dave LaRoche, the lefty, even though basic doesn't incorporate that, just seemed to make sense as he's facing Parker. So LaRoche is in to face Parker. 2 on, 1 out, 1 in. 3-2 lead for the National League. 5-7. Ground ball second base X. That's Randolph. He's a 2. And that's a 13. A 2 and a 13. 2 and a 13 is out with no runners on base 4. If no runners are forced, runners hold. With 1 or more forced, batter is safe. Disregard previous result. Runner on first is out, going to second. Other run. So it's basically a ground ball B, which means Morgan's going to score. They don't turn the double play, but Garvey is out 4-6 on the fielder's choice. But the run scores. It is now National League 4 and American League 2. And that's going to bring up George Foster to face LaRoche. 2-5 for Foster, struck him out, and that's the end of the inning. So 2 runs come in for the American League. They take a 4-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th here at Yankee Stadium. All right, American League now will need the National League will now need a new pitcher, as Smith pinch hit for the pitcher, so we need a new reliever for the National League, and that's going to be Chicago Cubs' Rick Russell. Rick Russell will come in to pitch. He's going to be facing Brett Yastrzemski. You know what? It's not going to be Russell. I'll take that back. With these lefties, I know it's basic, but I'm still going to play strategy like it's left-right. So I'm going to use John Candelaria. The Candyman. Let's see if the Candyman can. So the Candyman is in. And he'll be facing Yastrzemski, Zisk, and Jackson. I'm sorry, Brett, Yastrzemski, and Zisk. My bad. Jackson if anybody reaches. Or Jackson if you're nasty. 1-7. Ground ball to third. 1 away. So Brett is out of there. Brings up Yaz. And we're going to start getting some substitutions starting in the 6th. Wholesale substitutions to get everybody in the game. 4-10 for Candelaria. Ground ball shortstop X. That is the shortstop Concepcion. He's a 1. That is a 9. So a 1 and a 9 for a shortstop is an out number 3, but base is empty. It really doesn't matter. It's a 6-3. So Yastrzemski is gone. 2 down. And Richie Zisk, the batter. 5-7. 1-2 is a homer, but 3-20 will be a deep fly ball to left field. It's 14, so he flies to left. So the Candyman can. He shuts out the American League. 3 up, 3 down. So we go to the top of the 6th. And LaRoche, is he going to stay in there or are they going to pull him? Let's see. Coming up for the National League is Luzinski, Say, and bench. So we're going to pull. They're going to pull out LaRoche. His day is done, and they will bring in another right-hander in Jim Kern. So Jim Kern, the right-hander, is coming in. He'll be facing Luzinski to start the top of the sixth. I'm kind of running out of room on my score sheet now because it's not designed for all these changes. All right, so it's going to be Luzinski, Say, and bench, but actually we're going to get some pinch hitters. I said in the sixth that we're going to have wholesale changes, and here's where they begin. So in left field, taking over in left field will be, let's see who they want to use here. They got two right fielders, but no left fielders. Interesting. So I'm still going to play it that way. So what we're going to do, actually got a bunch of right fielders. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, Valentine's a 1, Winfield's a 1, Griffey is a 2. So I'll put Griffey in left field. So Griffey's going to pinch hit and play left field, even though he's rated for right field. I'm going to still give him a 2 rating because to me that's a lateral move. So Griffey is the new player in left, and Mike Schmidt will take over at third base. He will pinch hit for Ron Say next. So Ron Say will be coming out. So Schmidt will hit for Say. And then the new catcher for the National League will be Ted Simmons. So Ted Simmons will hit for bench. So we're going to have Griffey, Schmidt, and Simmons to lead off here in the top of the sixth against Jim Kern. Griffey, 6-6. That's a solid single for Griffey. So he leads things off with a single. That'll bring up Schmidt as the National League tries to extend the lead. 3-5 for Schmidt. That's a home run right there. Solid home run. 3-5. Mike Schmidt does it. A 2-run bomb here at Yankee Stadium, and the National League now takes a 6-2 lead as Mike Schmidt comes in and makes his presence felt with authority, a la Nick LaLoosh, or whatever his name was from Bull Durham. Here's Ted Simmons. I think it's Luke LaLoosh or something. I don't know. 3-5. Again, a 3-5, and that's a home run chance again for Simmons. 1-13's a homer. Could be back-to-back jacks, and it is. So Ted Simmons, a pinch hit home run. And Kern getting wasted over here. Kern not having much luck. Of course, they're off the batter cards, so he has no say in it, but still. All right, now Concepcion will be lifted for Gary Templeton. So Gary Templeton will take over as the new shortstop. And Pete Rose is going to pinch hit for the pitcher coming up. So Pete Rose will be the pinch hitter. And right now Templeton will take over at short. So Templeton is up, facing Kern. 2-12 for Templeton. That's another Lomax line out to second to end the inning. Or not to end the inning, but to get the out. And now Pete Rose. Pete Rose was in here somewhere. What did I do with Pete Rose? Did I bring him back? Thought I brought him over here. Where did you go, Pete? For Pete's sake, where did you go, Pete? It's a lot of cards to keep up with, and I'm losing track of where they went. I know Pete Rose is in here somewhere. There he is. There's Pete Edward Rose. Right there, Pete Rose. And Manny Trio is going to pinch hit for Morgan and play second base for the National League. He's on deck to bat for Morgan. First, here's Rose, 1-8. Ground ball to third base B. Bases are empty, so it doesn't matter. That's out number 2. Now Trio is going to hit for Morgan. So Manny Trio, the Cubs, is going to hit for Morgan. 2-7. 2-7 is a solid single for Trio. So he keeps the line moving. Brings up Garvey, but I think we're going to have a pinch hitter for Garvey as well. And a new first baseman, I should say, at the same time. And that first baseman's going to be Willie Montañez of the Atlanta Braves. So Willie Montañez will take over for Garvey. And then Dave Winfield's going to take over in right. Ellis Valentine's going to take over in right field for Parker, and Winfield's going to take over in center. I'll get it straight. Morales is going to take over in center for Foster. 4-5 against Kern is a strikeout, and that ends the inning. So, an inning that Kern would like to forget about. 2 dingers and 3 runs. It's now 7-2 National League. And things are not going well for the National League. For the American League. So Kern is out of there. Candelaria's back for another inning of work, facing Reggie Jackson. But actually, Jackson's going to be pinch hit for, so we're going to get some subs here for the American League. And we're going to get in right field for the American League, Ken Singleton. So Ken Singleton will pinch hit and play right field. Ken Singleton, as the wholesale substitutions start to come in for the American League. Ken Singleton. 3-7 for Singleton, and he will draw a walk. So leadoff walk for Singleton. And now we're going to get a pinch hitter for the catcher Fisk. It will be the catcher Thurman Munson. So Munson will take over and be the catcher for the American League as Fisk is done. So Munson coming in. And then Campaneris will take over at short and pinch hit for Burleson up next. Right now it's Munson. 3-11 for Munson. He lines to third, and that's 1 away. So Munson is retired. And now we'll turn it over to Campaneris. So Campy Campaneris will be the new shortstop after he pinch hits for the pitcher. So Campaneris is out there. 1-7 for Campy. He grounds to third on a fielder's choice. Ground ball B, 5-4. And now we got the pitcher coming up, so we need a pinch hitter for the American League. So we'll try to find somebody that doesn't have a position for them. And I think that's going to be Wayne. No, Wayne Gross already pinch hit. So we're going to go with. Well, they need him. So let's see. I'm going to go with Jim Rice. Why not? Jim Rice. Sounds as good as anybody else. So Jim Rice will pinch hit. I'm glad you can't see the score sheet. It is a mess, as is usual in All-Star games. 2-9 struck him out. So Rice, not a good at bat for him. We go to the 7th. It is still 7-2 in favor of the National League. And now we need a new pitcher for the American League. Let's see who they're going to turn to. And I believe it's going to be Bill Campbell from the Red Sox, if I'm not mistaken. They will go to Bill Campbell. They still have Sparky Lyle. So those are the 2 pitchers they have left to finish up the game with. So I'm going to go with Bill Campbell now and Sparky Lyle. Lyle make it 2 innings in the 8th and 9th. We'll see how that plays out. Right now, for the National League, that's it for Candelaria. He's gone 2 innings. His day is done. For the National League, it will be, let's see here, it's for the National League, rather. It's Dave Parker. But Parker's going to come back because we've got to make substitutions once again for these players. So Ellis Valentine of the Montreal Expos will come on. Ellis Valentine, and Joaquin Andujar, the new pitcher coming in next inning for the National League, will be Joaquin Andujar to give the Astros some representation. Right now, whoops, wrong spot there, didn't it? Move Campbell inadvertently. Here's Ellis Valentine. 3-7 for Valentine. He flies to left, 1 away. Now we need a center fielder because we're going to have a pinch hitter for Foster, and it's going to be Jerry Morales of the Cubs, who is a true center fielder. So Morales will be coming in for Foster. So let's get Morales out there. Morales will be out there. Jerry Morales steps to the plate. 1-7 for Morales. He flies to left. That's 2 down for Ken Griffey. As we're coming back around now to some more batters. Ken Griffey. 6-4 against Campbell. That's a strikeout. That's going to end the inning. So 7th inning stretch here at Yankee Stadium. And that's going to take us to a relief pitcher for the National League, which I believe I said was going to be, or did I say? I may not have. Yeah, Joaquin Andujar. I thought that's who I said it was going to be. Joaquin Andujar will be facing the top of the order. Now, it would be Rod Carew, but we're going to pinch hit for Rod Carew and get some National League guys in there. It's going to be George Scott of the Red Sox. He will take over at first base. So George Scott of the Red Sox steps up. 1-3 for Scott. He's going to ground to short. And there's a 1 away. Now we need a new second baseman for the American League. And let's see who that's going to be in place of Randolph. If they even have a second baseman. I didn't know if they brought another second baseman out. They may not have. You know what? I don't have another second baseman on their roster. So I guess Randolph played the whole game at second because the only thing you can do is move Carew to second, but he's got pinch hit for, so we're just going to leave Randolph out there. I guess as a Yankee, they didn't have anybody else to play second base for the American League. 4-8. So 1-5 is a single against Andujar. 6-20, he will line it to third. And that's a liner to third, handled by Schmidt. 2 down. And it's going to bring up George Brett, but he's coming back because they are going to pinch hit for Brett, I do believe, with Greg Nettles. So Greg Nettles will pick up a bat and hit Greg Nettles. And of course he'll stay in the game to play third base as well. All right, here we go. Nettles. 6-2 is a pop up to second, and that's going to end the inning. So the inning's over. Nothing doing for the American League. We now go to the top of the 8th, and we'll get a defensive substitution. A couple of them, actually, for Zisk and for Yastrzemski. So coming in to play center field from the Seattle Mariners will be Rupert Jones, and coming in to play left field will be Larry Heisel. So a couple of substitutions there for the American League squad. Jones and Heisel, one will play left and one will play center, obviously. So Jones going to bat in Yastrzemski's spot, so he's up next, and then Heisel will bat after him playing left field, starting the 8th inning. Okay, so now we've got American League. Bill Campbell will come back out since he had a 1-2-3 inning. And he's going to be facing Schmidt. So Mike Schmidt will start us off. Schmidt, 2-5 for Schmidt. 2-5. It's a strikeout, so that's 1 away. Schmidt is gone. Brings up Ted Simmons, the catcher. Homered his first chance, or his only chance really. 3-9. It's going to fly to right. That's out number 2. And now that'll bring up Templeton, shortstop. Gary Templeton. Oh, what did I do with them? Okay, I got everything all mixed up here with my starters and my bench, so now I got to find out what I did with some of these guys. It is very confusing, folks. Okay. Let's find Mr. Templeton. I know he's here somewhere. Didn't run away. Where did you go? Where have you gone, Gary Templeton? Okay. Hope I didn't get him mixed up here with the National. No, I sure didn't. All right, I got to find Templeton here. Where do these guys go? How do players just disappear like that? This is not kosher. See who I've got left here. Trio, Morgan. There he is. Templeton is right there. I got the bench players and the lineup all mixed together. So here's Templeton. 1-5 for Templeton. A 1-6 is a single. 7-20, he lines to first. So he's going to line to first, and that's going to end the inning. So Bill Campbell pitches 2 solid. He will come out, and Sparky Lyle will pitch the 9th. And for the National League, we'll get a new pitcher for the National League as well, as we need to use some of their pitchers. So let's see who hasn't pitched yet for the National League. I know Rick Russell hasn't. Is there anybody else I'm missing? Rick Russell and Goose Gossage I know are available. So we're going to go with Rick Russell and have Gossage pitch the 9th. I guess that's, well, they do have Gary Lavelle too. So you know what? We need a giant representation. So let's have Gary Lavelle come on. And if Russell doesn't get in, so be it. All right, so Lavelle, and he'll be facing Rupert Jones, new center fielder. Came in for gas. 4-3 for Lavelle. It's a strikeout, so we struck him out. 1 away. That's how the 8th inning starts. We're still 7-2, National League firmly in front of the American League. Here's Larry Heisel. Took over in left field for Zisk. 2-7 for Heisel. He's going to ground to short. That's 2 away, and that'll bring up Ken Singleton, the right fielder. Ken Singleton. Let me make sure on the American League that there's not anybody else that needs to hit. Jason Thompson has not hit yet. And I don't think Fred Lynn has hit yet either. So Fred Lynn is actually going to pinch hit for Singleton just to give him an at-bat. Fred Lynn is going to hit for Singleton. Freddie Lynn. 5-5, struck him out, and that's going to end the inning. So Lynn will stay in the game to play center, and that's going to move Rupert Jones over to right. And then now we need a new pitcher for the American League, and that's going to be Sparky Lyle. He will come in to pitch the 9th, and Gossage will come in to pitch for the National League when it's his turn. So right now, Sparky Lyle coming in to pitch the 9th inning. And leading things off for the National League, we need a pinch hitter because we're at the pitcher spot. So for the National League, they will turn to the New York Mets lone representation, John Stearns. So John Stearns will be in to hit, and then Gossage will be in to pitch in the 9th. So right now Stearns is going to lead it off as a pinch hitter. Start the 9th against Sparky Lyle. New York against New York right here. 4-6. 1-6 is a triple. 6-20 is a double. Or 1-5 is a triple, rather. It's an 8, so it's a single. Leadoff single for John Stearns. How about that? He's obviously not going to steal. And leadoff man now is Manny Trio. So we're back to the leadoff spot, Manny Trio. And again, I got my subs mixed in with my other guys. So let's get Manny Trio in here. Where are you, Manny? There he is. And following Trio will be Montañez. Trio and then Montañez. 3-8 for Trio. Ground ball shortstop A. It's a 6-4-3 double play. So quickly 2 down. And that'll bring up Montañez, the first baseman. Hope he gets on because I really want to get Dave Winfield in the game, but he would pinch hit next if he's available. But if you pinch hit for Montañez, you got nobody else to play first base. So kind of twixt in between here. So Montañez, see if he can get on and keep the inning going so that Winfield can pinch hit. 1-8 for Montañez. He does keep it going. A home run for Montañez. How about that? So after the double play, Montañez homers, and that will allow Winfield to hit now for Ellis Valentine and take over in right field in the 9th so that we get everybody in for the National League, I think. As far as hitters go, I think the whole roster now is going to get in. So here's Winfield. 1-10 for Winfield. A 1-9 is a triple. 10-20 is a single. So Winfield joins the hit parade with a triple. So how about that? A pinch hit triple for Winfield. It is already 8-2, and they're looking for more. Here is Jerry Morales. So Jerry Morales stepping to the plate. Winfield at third with 2 outs. 5-6 against Sparky Lyle, struck him out, and that's going to end the inning. But an extra run for the American League makes it an 8-2 game as we go to the 9th, and it'll be Goose Gossage who will be getting the call out of the pen, and he'll be starting out facing Munson, Campaneris, and then a pinch hitter. So Munson will lead it off. See who the pinch hitter is supposed to be. See who is left. Who has not played in the American League? Jason Thompson has not hit. So Jason Thompson's going to pinch hit, and neither is Butch Weiniger, actually. So we're going to take Munson out, and we're going to let Butch Weiniger hit. Butch Weiniger is going to hit for Munson. So Weiniger is going to hit for Munson, Campaneris, and then Thompson, the pinch hitter. So that will get everybody in the game pretty much. 1-6 for Weiniger. He's going to draw a walk. So Weiniger, 1 out walk from Gossage. And that's going to bring up the shortstop, Campaneris. Although they may do they have any more pinch hitters left? I think everybody's been used. I think they've used everybody, if I'm not mistaken. I don't see anybody here that hasn't played. So, yep, Campaneris is in. Or still in, not going to be pinch hit for. He's going to bat for himself. 4-6 against Gossage. 1 is a double. Anything else, he flies to center. And it's 2, so he just missed it to fly to center for out number 1. And now we're at the pitcher spot. So Jason Thompson is going to be coming on. Pinch hitter, the lone Detroit representative. Jason Thompson. That's a 1-2. It's a fly to right by Thompson. So that is out number 2. Down to our last out. And it's George Scott of the American League. Last chance for the American League. George Scott, first baseman. So Scott against Gossage. Final chance. Not a good one. 8-2 National League, firmly in front. 3-5. Struck him out, and that's the way the game ends. So the Goose rings up Mr. Scott. Says, beam me up, and that's it. So the National League gets the victory by the final score of 8-2. Score sheet's a mess, and then we're already almost an hour, so I'm not going to mess with anything. We're just going to call it a game. Hope you enjoyed that presentation of strat-o-matic 1977 All-Star Game. And as usual, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And I will see you down the road.